guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Dick Norris Buick GMC in Palm Harbor, Florida. And boy, oh boy, do we have a very, very special car. This is a 2019 Corvette Grand Sport, the last of the C7s and the last of the front engine Corvettes ever for the rest of the history of this world. But before we dive into this true American sports car, let's talk about what the heck is going on here. So the C7, 7th generation, went from 2014 to 2019. Lots of different trims. One of the more popular ones, and probably the one that I would plunk my money down on, is the Grand Sport. Now, what's great about the Grand Sport is that you're gonna get the wider body of the Z06, but you're getting all the goodies directly from the Z51 package. And I really feel that the car, balance-wise, with power to weight, really makes it a usable Corvette, whether you're going to daily drive it on just the weekends, or go take it to your favorite track for a track day. Now, the reason why the Grand Sport name is so important to the history of the Corvette is that back in 1963, when the big three auto manufacturers were backing away from the table and saying, hey, we're not going to do any factory involvement in racing, the father, the true father of the Corvette, who I believe is the father of the Corvette, Zora Arkus Duntov, was able to build some specially prepared Grand Sport Corvettes to go up against those pesky 427 Cobras. Now, what's fascinating is that besides that, the only other time the Grand Sport name has come to fruition was in 1996. It was the final year of the C4 Corvette, and Chevrolet wanted to honor the Grand Sport, so they made a limited number of them for that final edition, and they were only available blue with a white racing stripe. With the C6, they brought the Grand Sport name back again, and they built as many Grand Sports as people were willing to buy. Same story holds true with the C7, but with it being a 2019, the final year, let's dive in. I know the C8 is available. The C8, let's get it. Let's just tear the band off right now. The C8 is faster, but is this really the best sports car for your hard-earned money? Let's go ahead and dive in. So right off the bat, love the color. Love Grand Sport because of that wider body. So when we start up front, in 2014, they did a great job. They brought back the Stingray name, because remember, the last time they used the name Stingray was all the way back in 1976. For 2014 to 2019, I love the way they worked the headlight housing, all LED, daytime running lamp, turn signals with your headlight in there. You can see with the Z06 body, that extra width, especially with that flat black fender flare, looks very menacing, very wide. We come across the midsection, and there's just something about a front engine Corvette. I can't shake it. I love them. I love the shape, the way they work the grille, everything full functional, even this flat black lower lip splitter that extends down. It's gonna give you more downforce. Everything is functional. So if you think that there's something on here for show and no go, you are dead wrong. And if you notice, you have the cameras up front. That's because this has that performance data recorder that will record your lap times and give you visual overlay in the whole 9 yards, so you could turn faster laps the next time you go out on the track. Love the cross flags, especially the way they shaped it for the C7 generation. Goes all the way back to 53. Crazy to think that the Corvette's been around that long, and that's why it is America's true sports car. Other sports cars have come and gone, like the Dodge Viper, but the Corvette is still running strong. Now, when we get up onto the hood, it's not a frunk, there's no trunk, there's a big V8 underneath the hood. You're gonna have this beautiful carbon flash metallic on the heat extractor. It's also for aerodynamics, so air is gonna come in, air is gonna be dragged out. The way they did the body lines is almost like a stealth fighter. Very, very hard, very prominent, and that's why I love the C7. I mean, just look at the way it flows. I almost wanna just rub my hands and my body all over it, but that would probably get me banned on YouTube. Maybe you guys would ban me, but anyways, coming around the bend, here's one of the touches that is unique to the Grand Sport. So this is a unique Y-spoke wheel, looking really clean, the gloss black. This is only available on the Grand Sport. You have those massive 6-piston calipers are gonna clamp down on those rotors that are over 15.5 inches in diameter. This Wheel up front, this is a 19-inch wheel, 285 on the width, 30 series sidewall. You got those great Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires, gonna keep us stuck to the track. And you can see that the rotor is two-piece. So you have aluminum hat, you have your steel rotor, it's slotted and fully ventilated. And of course, with the Z51 package, you're gonna get that totally retuned suspension setup, even the active exhaust. So you can make the exhaust louder or quieter depending on what you want. But love the extension, and I love the nice hard body line here on the fender. Very, very sharp. Now, as we come down the side, another part of the Corvette puzzle is always that side grille area. You look at many of the generations, they're gonna have some type of side grille. In the past, they were not functional. This is fully functional. Air is gonna pass out of here, and what's great is that you get a unique one, has the Grand Sport name, and the way to tell the difference between this and a Z06, besides the name, is that the Z06 is all one open vent rather than having the split. I like the way they made the touches to kind of separate so people aren't confusing a Grand Sport for the faster supercharged Z06. Now you can see the massive side sill extension that kind of comes out and then flares to the back. You're gonna have functional intakes, and here's a little fun fact. You see how this top intake, one on each side, is painted? That is unique to the Grand Sport. If this was a Z06, it would be carbon flash metallic, just like we find down here, but these are fully functional. This top one is actually meant to cool the transaxle, so the transmission is not bolted to the back of the engine. The transmission is all the way at the back of the vehicle to try to gain as close to a 50-50 weight distribution as possible. Love the rear quarter window. Even love the way they hide the button to open up the door here. You kind of just put your fingers in, pop it, and the door will pop open. But coming to the rear, nice flared out look. And the reason why it's so flared, 335s. So you're looking at two steamrollers that are gonna keep this rear wheel drive sports car stuck to the pavement like if you took honey and poured it all over and then drove your car through it. That's what we're talking about there. Now, when we come around the back and we look at this nice size rear wing, you can hear the sirens, you can hear the excitement. This is the last year of the Corvette. People are setting off fireworks right now. That's why the sirens are going crazy. But the way they did the rear glass, it looks like the Batmobile. Even though this one isn't black, looks like the Batmobile, super wide. At first, I did not like the way they did the taillights on the C7. I'm liking them a little better, especially the way that the C8 looks. The C8, I'm not really loving it, and I'm not really loving the rear end of the C8, but the C7, look at how flared out everything is. Everything is functional. You got a massive gloss black area to kind of separate the width of everything, and then you're gonna have that classy quad tip exhaust all bundled together in a nice, it's almost like a Christmas present. I wanna open that up, which we will be opening that up, so you can get your Christmas eargasm. You got the Corvette cross flags, the way they did clear on the taillight. And another way to know from the back that this is not a Z06 is that it does not have clear taillights. On a Z06, they have clear taillights. On this, you're getting the red on the Grand Sport. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop open that clamshell hood and see what's powering this Grand Sport Corvette. All right, guys, Corvette Grand Sport time. We open up the hood. Underneath that hood is naturally aspirated power. Now, what's great is you're gonna get that 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8, and that's gonna help you have a nice balanced chassis. So you're looking at 460 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. That's a 6.2 liter, 376 cubic inch engine. You could either get it mated to an 8-speed automatic or a 6-speed manual. The car weighs around 3,600 pounds, 0 to 60 in about 3.7 seconds, quarter mile at 11.9, top speed 185 miles an hour in MPGs, 16 in the city, 28 on the highway. I think the one zonk that I have, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, I'm gonna zonk it because it doesn't have the supercharger from the Z06. I'm not gonna zonk it because of that. I'm gonna zonk it because of the engine cover. Not very, very tasteful engine cover. I wish they would show off the intake plenum. Go back to 1985, look at an L98 engine in the 1985, that tuned-port fuel-injected engine looks just so sexy with the tuned runners, or even a 1990 to 95 ZR1 engine. Those look phenomenal. This looks a little bland, but you do have a side oiler, which what that means is that the oil is kept in a separate reservoir. It's not kept in the bottom of the pan, and that's gonna help prevent oil starvation as you're going left and right through your favorite twisty bits or your favorite racetrack. But why don't we go ahead? They built it in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Let's go ahead and have a little bit of an eargasm. All right, guys, we're inside the 2019 Corvette Grand Sport. I know you're probably asking, well, Joe, I really want a front engine Corvette. Just like you, I really think the Corvette, when I think of Corvette, I think of front engine. I think of a big V8 up front. I like the Grand Sport. I like all the extra touches. How much is this one? So the asking price here at Dick Norris Buick GMC with 9,600 miles, only has 9,600 miles, and it is pre-certified. So you're going to get that extra incentive warranty-wise. You're looking at an asking price of $64,000. Let's see what you get for the money. It's a 2LT trim. So on the C7, they did a great job with the door panel. Love the stitch work, contrasting color. It's got the Bose sound system. Armrest is nice and large and very soft to touch. You got the button to pop the door open, and then you got a smaller pocket down there. Maybe get 2 Krispy Kreme glazed donuts in there. That's about it. As we go from the door panel to the dash, you do have dual climate, and you have the dual climate control right over on the passenger side. For their side, they have heated seats and ventilated seats. Love the stitch work. Love the oh crap handle for your passenger. And then you're going to have that 8-inch infotainment system, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and navigation. Plus, your C8 Corvette can't do this. You have your secret place to plug in your USB, or you can lock something in here if, God forbid, you're ever going to let some valet drive your Corvette. You can lock it in there with a key code, and nobody's going to be able to get it out except for you. I'll throw the car into reverse. There's our backup camera. It's a little bit blurry, but you know what? Still looking really, really good with trajectory, which is wonderful. You do have the PDR system. You got your standard AC controls, easy to get to, your start-stop button, ventilated seats, like I pointed out. I like the addition of the Corvette Grand Sport badge that this one has. You have the 8-speed automatic, but you can get a 7-speed manual. That's the way I would go. 12-volt, conveniently placed, and you can hide it away. 2 cup holders. Ooh, look at me. I got a little bit of a tip, 50 cents. Rub my quarters together. Maybe I'll get a Corvette one day. And then we have our mode selector switch. So you could go into your different modes. You got your electric e-brake, some nice brushed aluminum. Nicely padded on the armrest. Now it only opens for me, so I'm gonna open it up. And basically, you could maybe put an iPhone in there. There's 2 USBs and a 12-volt. Do not put a Twinkie in there. You will squirt cream everywhere. And that's just gonna be a mess. Seats, one-piece backs. I like the cross flags. Perforated all the way down the center. Not as great looking as the new C8 Corvette seats, but still comfortable and will help get the job done. I got plenty of headroom in here. Obviously, these are all Targas, so the roof comes off and you can store it in the back. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Grand Sport Corvette. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Let me open up the door all the way. You do have your 2 memory seat settings, which is nice. And I love the way you're greeted to this beautiful sill panel Corvette. The sill is low. It's not like the C4s where you had to almost fall into them. You have your seat controls, easy to get to. Steering wheel, nice thickness, flat bottom. My only zonk is I wish they would have put Grand Sport here. You got the cross flags looking good. You could go up and down that 8-speed automatic with the plastic paddles. It would have been nice if they were actually metal. You got electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you have that beautiful dash display, nice large digital center there. All the different information. You could go into the different modes, open up that exhaust in sport and in track and really piss everybody off. And then you have some other analog gauges as well. Plus, this one being a 2LT does have the head-up display. But why don't we go ahead? I'm not showing the cargo area. There's plenty of room back there, I promise you. I'm ready to show you how great of a Corvette this really is. Let's take the Grand Sport for a spin. All right, guys, we left Dick Norris Buick GMC. We're in the 2019 Corvette Grand Sport, the last of the front engine Corvettes. This one is an 8-speed automatic, which they are the more popular. I would prefer a 7-speed manual, but I have it in manual shift mode. Let's see how the on throttle goes. So dropping it down, second gear, on throttle. Yeah! Love the sound of that V8. It's interesting because the C7s sound louder than the C8s. I don't know what it is, but the exhaust, the growl, just sounds that much more intense. Looking out across the sexy hood, love it. Love that classic feel. Sitting by the rear axle, having the engine out front. Here we go again. On throttle. Nice pop. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, what I love about the Grand Sport, like I said, is you have usable horsepower. We've done lots of Z06s here on Rady's Rides. Haven't done a Z01. We need to get one of those together. But Z06, it's a struggle to get the power down. With this, you feel good, you feel confident, it's balanced. I love the interior. Yes, the C8 Corvette does have a higher quality, nicer looking interior, but this is still nothing to really complain about. I mean, it is well laid out. I feel fantastic. Visibility out the back is great. Out the front, it's amazing with that long hood. This is what it's about, and this is why this would be my Corvette of choice if I was buying a pre-owned Corvette. Unbelievable. The 8-speed shift's nice. I'm using the paddles. The paddles are small and they are plastic, but it's allowing me to use the transmission a little bit more to where I want to be in the rev range and everything, so that's a good sign. But here we go. On throttle, first gear. Yeah! Love the sound. Love the sound. Wow. The steering feels great. I have it in sport mode. Steering weight is great in it. Just unbelievable, the performance that you get. I mean, they've come a long way since 1953. That's for sure. On throttle. Yeah! Woo! This thing is a rocket ship. Wow. It's crazy because if you watch footage from, say, like the 24 Hours of Le Mans from 2019, you feel like you're in the C7R race car. You really, really do. And just the way the whole car is laid out and everything, it really is perfect in my eyes. And I know that the C8 is faster, and I'm not ragging on the C8. I'm just saying, for me, C7 Grand Sport is really the way I would go. If I could find a brand new one of these, I mean, I know this one is pretty close to being brand new. It's only got 9,600 miles, but I'm sure there's some brand new ones still out there around the United States. That would be one to try to track down if you want that classic Corvette feel and overall drive. I mean, and you're in a Grand Sport. I love it. But we're going to get back to Dick Norris Buick GMC and wrap this one up. So I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another wonderful day here at Dick Norris Buick GMC. I definitely got to thank Melvin and the rest of the crew getting us this cream puff of a 2019 Corvette Grand Sport. The final year, the final front engine Corvette. And boy, oh boy, I'm telling you right now, if you want a nice balance of power to driving ability, this really has the perfect sweet spot of a nice balanced experience to really allow you to feel confident, hit your marks, and turn those fast lap times at your next track day. But if you want to keep seeing Corvettes like these on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. Got to give it up to Crown Vic. He's out here holding this camera. We got helicopters flying over us. They're dropping all sorts of candy and marshmallows from the sky, and he's having to stay focused. So thank you, Victor, for staying focused. You now can go and commence the candy eating. So thank you for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.